Okay. All right, you guys. Welcome to the call. Today, the topic is going to be about recovery. So, I'm actually in a recovery week this week, and I have been training more regularly. And I haven't really needed any recovery, honestly, until this point. So, it was just a good reminder for me of how to not get into this place of digging yourself into a hole when you recover and you're needing it so desperately, but trying to think about recovery from a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly perspective, and planning it, right? Including it in your training program, as a way to prevent injury and prevent any time away from the sport just because you overreached for too long. Okay, so let's see where my notes are. Here they are. So it's an essential part of training, and your body actually, you don't get better from training. You actually get better from recovering from the training that you're doing. You're training, maybe 10 days to 2 weeks to 3 weeks at a time, 6 to 7 days a week. And then you need to let your body rest to absorb that training. And if you don't, there's most likely going to be an injury or a sickness where your body's forcing the issue to recover, right? So if you don't take the recovery, if you don't plan it yourself, don't worry, your body will do it for you. And we want to try to avoid that, because usually when you have an injury or you get sick, then you're taking even more days away from the sport than you want to. And you're coming back not in the place from the benefit of all the training, but actually a little bit behind, right? So planned recovery is super duper important. And like I said, everybody's different. So you kind of have to find out what works for you. As I'm getting older, I used to go 3 weeks, no problem, no days off, and, be able to take 3 to 5 days off and be fine. But that's definitely not the case anymore. I tend to need more easy days during the week if I'm going to go hard, on a weekly basis, and actually including, after workouts, including some time where I'm stretching and breathing and doing my recovery work after the workout. I can actually have more quality workouts that week. But then I usually go, 2 days hard, an easier day, 2 days hard, an easier day, and that's my week. And then 2 weeks is 2.5 weeks of hard training, and then I need 3 to 5 days easy. And when you need it, right? You feel that lethargy, the alarm goes off and you don't want to get up. Those those are the days that your body's really talking to you. And there's going to be times when, yes, you need to push through, you have to overreach if you're going to get stronger and faster and better. But there's definitely a time where you need to listen to your body and not wake up with an alarm. So there's definitely some things that you guys need to figure out for yourself. I mean, especially if you're in the group program, I program those workouts to be pretty much for 4 weeks a month. I try to squeeze in a couple of recovery days every month, but everybody's on a different timeline as far as when they need recovery. So there are times when I don't want to see you at workouts because you're taking your recovery week. And if you're on my VIP program, we are planning that, right? So you'll see Richard and those guys that are normally at every single workout. There are times when I don't want to see them, and I'm happy about it, because they're listening to their body and they're following the plan and they're taking their recovery as planned. So to prevent a bigger setback. So I actually have a blog on this topic where it goes over like some basics, like sleep, getting 8 hours of sleep, obviously. So 8 can be tough maybe if you're working a lot, but 7 is like my minimum. You cannot get away with training hard for triathlon with 5 hours of sleep. Like, I have so many athletes that tell me, oh yeah, I slept great last night, 5 hours. No, that is not going to last. You are going to drive yourself into a hole. It's just going to be a question of when you explode. Okay, you got to get 7 hours of sleep. And I have lots of tips about how to do that. So if you need help on getting sleep, please ask me and I can help you. But 7 hours should be your minimum on a weekly basis. And then on the weekends or during your recovery, try to get 8 to even 9 hours. And you feel amazing. It is so, so amazing how you feel when you get that quality sleep. And then you can train even harder after the topic, right? On that blog, I also talk about ice baths. So I'm a big Wim Hof fan. If you don't know who he is, I recommend looking up Wim Hof on YouTube. He is an inspiration to me. You can actually change your stress level in your body immediately with breath work, right? So that's kind of a daily practice that you can start including. That's not, I didn't really include like the details of that in the blog. But breath work is amazing. Monday, I asked Meredith to include a lot of pranayama, which is breath work, breath of life. Breathing gives us energy, right? So including that on Monday morning, that's only going to help set up your week. I don't know if you guys joined me for that class, but it was awesome. I needed it. I felt so much better after I did the class, stretching and breathing and just getting that chi, right? But the ice baths also can help, but you know, they're a little bit more painful. But again, you feel so good after you take those ice baths. Another way that I didn't include in the blog was taking magnesium salt, magnesium flakes, and Epsom salt baths. Those are amazing as far as helping your muscles relax, and those you can do during the week. Like that doesn't have to be just during your recovery week, right? But the magnesium helps your muscles recover, and you can actually absorb magnesium transdermally through your skin. So if you're taking enough magnesium on a regular basis, which I recommend to all my athletes, a minimum of 400 milligrams a night, and sometimes you need more if you're cramping. But if you're already taking that much but you still feel like your muscles are fatigued, go ahead and jump into an Epsom salt bath with magnesium flakes. You can get them on Amazon or at Whole Foods. Please don't get the ones with all the smells and stuff like that, just because that's toxins that you just don't need. Just get the plain magnesium flakes and the plain Epsom salts. And go for a soak for 10 minutes, right? Minimum 10 minutes, longer if you need to. Play some nice music, do some breathing. Don't be on your screen, right? Time away from your screen is also super duper important. We're talking about nurturing yourself on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis. And you know, trying to remember that you're a human being instead of a human doing. And I'm 100% guilty of this. I go. I thrive on it. It makes me happy to train. And then I have the work that I'm training you guys. So doing feels good until it doesn't, right? And then you're screwed, right? And you've driven yourself into the ground. And honestly, I can tell you, I was at a breaking point this past week, and today's my first day. It's Wednesday that I finally feel better. And I think I swam on Sunday, Dolphins and Rainbows, which was really not a hard swim. Well, I mean, it's long, but it's not hard. But I mean, usually I only need one day and I start to feel better, but I was tired, right? So I had to take these last few days and really nurture myself. I've been doing my meditation, my breathing, my stretching. Being in the ocean for me is my healing place. I've been paddleboarding every day and going and jumping in the ocean where there's no one around and doing my meditation there, you know, under the rainbows and the birds and sea turtles all around me. So for me, that makes me recharge. So finding what works for you is also something to investigate, right? So walking on the beach, putting your feet on the earth, like it's called earthing, can really, really recharge you, right? So if you're even I'll even during the day, like if I'm on the computer for many, many hours in a row and I just need a break, I go outside in my backyard, I lay down underneath my oak tree barefoot, and I just breathe, you know, open my eyes, close my eyes, whatever I feel for at least 5 to 10 minutes, and I get a total reboot, right? So using these things to help you recharge can help you include this nurture and this recover on a regular basis. So it's not like this big deal, oh, I have a recovery week, and you're not recovering any other time. Now, don't get me wrong, I like those recovery weeks too, but this is just a way to make it so it doesn't have to be this big deal and you're used to it. But I have plenty of athletes that give me pushback, like no one, I'm not naming names here, but when you're supposed to be on a recovery week and I'm not supposed to see you and you show up at every workout and that week ends up being a 14-hour week for you, you didn't recover. And guess what? You're not going to be able to push as hard the next week or the next training block because of that, right? And let's be honest, you know, we're all type A here on this call. In some respect, if you're a triathlete, you're a doer, right? You don't do 3 sports if you don't like to do 1. So let's be honest that it might be hard for you to recover, and using these tricks, you know, can help. So looking at it on a monthly basis, having at least that 3 to 5 days that you're completely, like even 72 hours where you're actually doing no swim, no bike, no run, and no real activity. maybe some chilling out, watching TV, watching movies, using your compression socks, elevating your feet, that's okay. And it's actually a good thing to do that, you know, once a month at least. And then coming back even into that recovery week, maybe you only did 2 to 3 days with no real activity. And then when you do come back, make it all aerobic. So there's no high intensity intervals and you're not spending more time. I do have a work-in packet that I use with my athletes, that I use with my holistic lifestyle coaching. And working in just means that you're not depleting. So instead of working out is catabolic, meaning you're breaking down, and working in is building up. And strength training is actually working in because you're building muscle. But working in also means when you're on a recovery day or week, low heart rate. So we're talking heart rate under 130. Okay, so very low heart rate and no sweating. Okay, so if you're trying to do a recovery workout and you're sweating and it's an hour and a half in, that's not recovery. Even though it's an easy day, that's not recovery. So working in, meaning it doesn't deplete you, can really help you balance that yin yang. So that yin yang in my logo is there for a reason. And this is the recovery part of it, of the training. So monthly, we talked about like 3 to 5 days, 72 hours, and then 2 to 3 days easy aerobic training. And then yearly, like actually taking like 2 whole weeks of training off, right? Away from the sport. So typically after, especially an Ironman, I like to recommend at least one full week for a half Ironman and 10 days minimum. I do not want to see my athletes. And that's hard. That can be very, very hard. But when they do that, when you guys do that, the results are insane when you come back, because you just got a huge bump in fitness from doing the race. You know, it was a stressful day, but then when you let yourself recover, you come back and you're stronger, right? So the racing itself was a training day in the respect that you absorbed all that muscular fatigue, and now you're going to turn it into something better when you come back. So I think that was everything. And also, like, you know, being grateful for your strong, successful body, and remember all the positive things, because we're inundated lately with so much negativity and so much fear that actually that can be a stress on your body, and your body doesn't know the difference between work stress, sleep stress, eating stress, right? Eating clean can be recovery. So we're talking, what does clean mean? No processed foods, not lots of sugar, not a lot of sports nutrition. Actually, sports nutrition is not the healthiest thing, right? So eating clean and making sure you're timing your food before and after training can also help you recover, right? Especially if you're starting to feel depleted and you're a couple days into your training block. Making sure you're having food before and after can help you not feel so depleted, especially if you have to do a workout later in the day. Okay, so do you guys have any questions about recovery? I mean, I know that was a lot, but I wanted to bring up the topic. Yeah, Vicky.
The ice, I've started doing the ice showers. My goodness, it took me really a good week to be able to just do the first 2 minutes. Really makes a big difference. I was really surprised. So ice showers are now part of my daily routine.
Yeah, it's amazing. Those, like, you don't think that they're doing anything, but they actually reset you on a deeper level hormonally. There's a hormonal response from the coldness. And, you know, Wim Hof suggests doing it starting with 30 seconds. Yeah. And then building up, you know, adding 15 to 30 seconds onto that. And really, he says 2 minutes is really all you need.
Yeah.
I am planning on kind of a local fall camp, and I'm gonna have an ice bath there so you guys can try it. So we will be doing that. If you guys want to check out my video on my YouTube, I do have an ice bath that I did, and I was able to do it 3 times 2 minutes, and it was amazing how alive you feel when you do it. But it's hard. I'm not gonna tell you it's not hard. We did it at camp this year, and it was pretty epic. The people who were brave enough to do it, but the cold waters definitely makes a difference. And you should try some Epsom salt and magnesium bath soaks too. Those are good. All right, anybody else have any questions or comments? Yeah.
I'm good.
You can unmute yourself. Franklin. Did you have something, Franklin?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Okay. Hey, Grant, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Cool. Any questions about recovery? No?
No, it just takes longer these days.
Yeah, age is definitely a component. So that's where I don't know how long you've been on. I don't know if you jumped on, but I did talk about how to start including recovery on a daily basis, not just um, on a like block, like not going 2 to 3 weeks straight with no recovery and then including recovery, but actually including it on a daily, weekly basis so that you don't get caught off guard and then get injured or burnt out and adrenal fatigued, which is, you know, my story. I went for so long, you know, going too much, too fast, too hard, too long with no sleep, sports nutrition, and I was in a hole for 18 months, right? So I never want any of you guys to experience that. I mean, talk about depression because you can't get through a yoga class, like no endorphin release. Like that's just not a fun place to be. And so I'll have athletes that come to me and they've gone into that place, and I have so many things now. Like I have herbs, I do adaptogenic herbs, I do the ice bath. I have so many tools to dig people out of that hole nutritionally and supplementally. But the stuff I talked about today was stuff you can do. Like it's all within your fingertips, right? So, and it's a part of your program. This is like the crucial part. This is actually the part that makes you faster, better, stronger. You know what I mean? So if I highly recommend including this stuff like Vicky has started. But yeah, on a regular basis. Sorry, it's a little crazy. I'm at my mom's house, so there's lots of people everywhere. All right, you guys, do you have any other questions or anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, sleep.
Who's that?
Monica.
Monica. What's up, Monica? How are you?
Good. You're talking about sleep. I mean, there's no way. I have no issues falling asleep. It's just I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, 2:30 in the morning, and I just can't. Either I go back. Sometimes I can go back to sleep, but when I add up all the hours, it's never. It's 5.5, 4.5.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
Even
So
on the weekends, I even wake up, and I used to be a sleeper.
okay. So that actually means that your stress is too high. Like there's too much stress on your body. And so you're in fight or flight mode. Like you're tired, but you're wired. Okay. And you might think, oh, I don't need any more sleep. That's why my body's waking me up. No, it's actually the opposite. Your melatonin, your natural production of melatonin is not lasting as long as it should because your cortisol is too high. Okay. So there's a balance between cortisol and melatonin. And when you start to train for triathlon, your cortisol goes right through the roof, right? So balancing that and kind of forcing the issue of the sleep. So making sure you're getting to the bed at the same time pretty much every night can really, really help. And the fact that you're falling asleep by yourself is awesome. But also making sure that your environment is completely dark, okay? We're talking no red lights from the TV or blue lights from the TV. Your phone should not be near your head in any way. And it needs to be on airplane mode. Okay, so this emits EMF electricity and it stimulates your body to wake up. Okay, all Wi-Fi does. So, I mean, if you're really hardcore, you're gonna turn off your Wi-Fi in your house. Okay, so at 9 o'clock, who's gonna do that? Nobody, but I do recommend it. But I put my phone on airplane mode. You know, I try to start by 8 o'clock. You know, that's my goal. Also, I don't look at the computer or the phone after 7 p.m. unless it's got brown light. Okay, so blue light on your computer and on your phone stimulates your retina for as many as 8 hours later. So even though you fell asleep okay, there's still some, you know, that electromagnetic frequency is affecting your body in a harmful way that you could be stimulated to wake up. So there's a thing called, on iPhones, it's called display. If you go to settings and display, and it's called night shift, and you want to set up your night shift to start from 6 p.m. until 6 a.m. And please do not pick up your phone if you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. If you pick up your phone, forget it. Your brain's already like, okay, I got to do this, I got to do that. Your monkey mind goes, and you're never going to fall back asleep. You're not going to give yourself a chance. And also making sure your room is dark as possible. If you can't make the room dark, I recommend an eye mask. Okay, so your eyes are completely covered. using essential oils. I mean, you have your lavender. What's the essential oil with Young Living for sleep?
It's lavender mainly, and
Okay, so
you can use lavender, cedarwood.
yeah,
There's one called Dreamcatcher. There's different ones. I
yeah.
have them all.
Yeah, so having those nearby, and you know, maybe just putting them on the bottom of your feet when you wake up. I like Serenity, doTERRA oils. I use that. Passion flower extract is an herb that you can use that actually helps you fall asleep super fast. So I'll even have that sometimes by the bed if I wake up and I really can't fall asleep. It tastes terrible. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's like the most disgusting tasting thing almost that I have ever had. But a few drops of that under the tongue, and literally you're asleep in the next 15 minutes, and there's zero hangover. There's no drag to that. And that's like a 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning type thing. And then also, what do you say? Like having so I know, okay. So having something that you can repeat to yourself that has nothing to do with doing anything, like a mantra, when you wake up at 2 and 3 in the morning, for me, it puts me right back to sleep because I feel safe. I feel happy. I'm like, so I choose to have faith in love. That's my mantra for life. Okay. So I say that if I wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, I go right back to bed. I just repeat that over and over and over. It's all good. Life is good. I fall back asleep for another couple hours, right? You know, so setting your environment up for that, and then, you know, taking the essential oils I think can help a lot. So let me know if you want to try any of those. And the magnesium bath too can help you relax also through the night. So even though you fall asleep, you know, it can help you stay relaxed for longer. Does that sound good? Thanks for the question. Very, very good question. Sleep is important. All right, guys, so just a little bit of housekeeping. We are going to do a mock triathlon next Saturday on Key Biscayne, a sprint or an Olympic. So you can choose which one. We're going to open water swim, we're going to bike, we're going to run, we're going to have transitions. We're having our own darn race, and that's just the way it is. I'm so tired of these races being canceled. So then in a month, on September 28th, we're going to do a half Ironman. So you guys that have been training longer, and I'll probably have a sprint as well the same day for the short course athletes. So we have 2 events to look forward to. And then also September 20th up here in Fort Pierce, there's going to be a triathlon, a sprint, or an Olympic. And then I just got notice from the same race company that in November, they're putting on in the same location a half Ironman. So we got opportunities, and I really know that these races are going to get sold out because they're capping them at like 250. So that's Game On Race Productions, and we do have a discount code Full Circle. So definitely check those out as maybe our only opportunities to race, you know, in Florida, or at least down here in Miami or close to Miami. Fort Pierce is like 2.5 hours north, actually a little less, like an hour 45, 2 hours. So yeah, so definitely check those out as a possibility for a race. And then we're going to do our triathlons, and we're going to be as safe as possible and not bring a lot of attention to ourselves. It's just going to be my athletes. So it should be good. I think it'll be fun.
Question. I tried reaching out to Lily to see if she could change the my registration from Key Largo, but I haven't heard back from her. I DM'd her and I sent her an email. I mean,
I would just keep reaching out because she's super busy. But yeah, just keep reaching out, and they should be able to do it. They did it for me, so I'm hoping they're going to do it for everybody.
Okay.
Okay. All right, you guys, that's all I have for today. So happy training. There is the bike tomorrow, a bike and run off the bike tomorrow workout. So plan on that unless the rain, I don't know what's the weather like down there. I'm not actually there, but hopefully it'll be okay. And then we have Fast Fit Friday on Friday. And then this weekend we're doing another long ride south. So Vicky, if you want to join us, we'll have
give it my best shot.
Okay, and we have more people too on the ride. So we have Jack going, and then Lilia and me. So you know, there's more opportunity for the fast people to stay together, and then there's like a medium group, and then now that Lisa's got her clips though, I have a feeling we're all going to be together, so it'll be good.
Good. Okay. I'll give it a shot.
What'd you say, Monica?
There's no open water this weekend?
Sunday. Yeah. So Sunday, I'm planning on doing dolphins and rainbows. You guys, it was like the most beautiful day on this past Sunday. Like I have never seen the water on South Beach quite that clear or that flat or that perfect. So if you want to practice your open water swim, that was a great day. Hopefully it's going to be just like that this weekend. But honestly, the ocean's been pretty calm. So hopefully it'll stay that way for this Sunday as well. All right. Okay,
Don't,
bye, you guys.
don't
Go
look
ahead.
for the pink. Don't look for the pink lifeguard station.
Well, the thing is there are a couple pink ones, but you have to make sure, look on your watch to see the distance because it's about 1,300 yards down. And then if you want to get out and come back, but yeah, or wear fins. I highly recommend wearing fins if you don't want to get left behind the first couple times. Fins are they're a great way to help get your volume up without having to suffer too much. All right, I'm gonna stop recording.